we gotta plant the coconut and get the water. It's better than gasoline. Don't worry about the oil. Let the government worry about that. That's why I'm going after coconut. It's worth more than gasoline. Put together a 15-minute presentation or less, and so I'm going to stick with the book so I don't miss anything, because this is pertaining to the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which the entire world at the UN General Assembly signed on to. The entire world, rich countries, poor countries, all the countries. And this is a 15-year goal. We have passed 5 years already, and not many countries are moving along to achieve the goals, which is sad. Now, what are the goals? I'll cover the goals and how it affects us here in Guyana, and why I brought these things on the table here. You've all seen it already. And this is the room. I actually bought this yesterday on the highway going up to Georgetown at Unity. I turned around for $400 drive-through service. So this is money right here. It takes about an hour maybe to make this room from branches, 400 or less. Can you have a man? Can you automate this process?
I think we're automate.
Automate room. This here, for the most part of it, my dad's here. He makes oil on the fire side. He uses this for fire. So we don't have to go look for wood once we move from other homes. However, this part of it, anybody use this part of it for anything? Yes, from your black pot, good, yes. So you're there with me. However, this is used for hydroponics planting. You could use this in hydroponics. You can use it as fertilizer. And here, yes, sir. Yes,
where did I use it?
And I had the opportunity to sit on one of those. My great grandmother had a swing, and she had this inside of it when I was very small. So there's so much products out of this, and of course, you can make this part spoon buttons for your jackets. I think it could be a high-end restaurant serving food in this bowl. People will go for that. This part here, you need it.
That's really what it is.
You can use it for milk. Well, so we used to sell copper back in the day. Nobody buys copper. Now, I'm sure we'll be buying copper soon when we set up that plant. This is export ready. You fill a container and it's wanted. In the Caribbean, you don't even have to touch American canned cake. If a shake is really good, right? That's how you know. And this is the water coconut. Some have this is smaller one. Some have jelly, some don't. And yeah, let me steal from that. So that's a bit of a show and tell. And let me stick with the notes here for a bit. Question for you: do you think climate change is real? If it's yes, put a hand up. Is climate change real? Nobody? Yeah. Wow. Good. We're feeling it. Some people think it's not so. Why? Because it doesn't affect them. In Canada, in America, climate change is not real. Because if it's summer, you have your AC on blast. If it's winter, you have your heat on blast. You don't feel it because you don't have farm gardens. You just go to the store, Walmart anyways, and pick the stuff up. So North Americans, people in wealthy country, climate change is real, but it doesn't affect them, so they think it's not real. And who caused climate change? The industrial countries. So it's Guyana's getting the bad end on both sides. One, we know it's real and it's affecting us. Two, we didn't cause it. We're actually a sinkhole. What's a sinkhole? We create more green than pollution. So, which is why Norway has given us so much money. So as they pollute, they say, okay, Guyana is cleaning up for us. So Sweden and UK, I'm looking good. So that's what carbon trading is about. And that's the next level of climate change that we're not seeing here yet. One guy said it's a husk. The other guy said it's a natural phenomenon. It could be a hoax, or it can be natural, or it can be man-made. I don't care, and we're not having that conversation. It's like me and Mr. Mohammed here have an argument, and he says, Raymond, I don't believe you're human, or I don't believe God made you. I think you're from an ape. So then we're fighting of where we're from rather than are we human or not. We have to live together. So that's the same analogy I use towards climate change. It doesn't matter where it come from or originated. What matters is the temperature is going up and up and up. How do we keep the temperature down? That's the question. Therefore, regardless of the origin of the problem, you should be civil enough to understand that if there's a problem, we should look at solution and not the cause, really. We leave that up to the university, but the most part we want solution, be solution oriented. Of course, you know Guyana is below sea level. Have anybody been to the 63 beach lately? It's good because if the water is high, the high tide, you're going to be washed out because there's almost no beach there already. So you can see that the water is actually coming up. You can physically see that, and it's coming up really fast. 80% of our population live along this coast. 80% or more. We have to be concerned about rising sea level. And I'm glad we have agriculture and physics and chemistry people in the room. Well, as you boil the water, it's going to expand. And that's what's happening. Or you may say, okay, it's 0.5 of a degree. That's all that's needed to raise 2/3 of the world's mass, which is water. What do we do? What do we do? Do we just leave our homeland and start running up to the highway, Linden Highway, and all live there? Yes, that might be a good option. You should have a second home up the highway and a boat park in your backyard just in case. That's a joke. Of course, of course we have to live here. We have our homeland here, our heritage to upkeep. We have our children to take care of. We have our nation to develop. We have to protect our food supply to survive for ourselves and for our neighbors and for others. As Ms. Mohan was saying, the Caribbean country are way worse than us. They don't have the landmass. All they have is tourism. And so they need the food. I have a solution. I have a single initiative that will fulfill all of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and are in line with the Guyana Green State Initiative. And my goal is to plant 1 million coconut trees in 10 years. Am I going to be able to do it all? No. I'm going to plant number 1 coconut tree with all of you here in this university compound. We're going to start that way, okay? So once we get 1, we'll get 1 million. We'll plant the 1,000,000th coconut tree back here. How about that? In 10 years. Yeah, the 1,000,000th coconut tree. And we'll take a seedling from this coconut tree and plant it. Is that good? Yeah, that's great. So we'll plant 1 million coconut trees in 10 years. When I tell people that, they say, you're crazy. Just drive down the road from here to Skellin and try count. Just count in the village. 10 villages, you'll probably reach 1 million coconut trees. There's just behind the houses, they're in the reef, this side, that side. There's 3 reefs on this side. Maybe just 1 left on this side. So it's quite possible. The problem with the coconuts now is that they're old. There's most of their nutrition is to survive the life of the tree rather than the production as they get older. When I went through the census, the last census was done in Guyana. I don't know why we do it so long apart. We need more census. The last census was done in 2012, and there's only 2 or 3 to compare to. I saw that a vast majority of people live in Guyana are unemployed. Census, I don't know if they're trying to hide from tax or what, but unemployed, the whole way. Or stay-at-home mom and early retirees. Lots of people come back from overseas and just retire. It's easy to retire in Guyana for now until cost of living rises. I saw that there are hundreds of thousands of people in rural area who own their own home and had lots of land. They pay rates for the land in the backyard. And it's not cultivated. Can you imagine? I got the stats from that book there that was published by my friend Vishnu Durga. 2.5% of Guyana is only cultivated. I couldn't believe that. 2.5% of our entire nation is only under cultivation. That is weird. 75% is still under forested land. Like, people never even gone there because there's anaconda or whatever is that they have there. I also saw that there are many millions of coconut trees as I drive from Charity to Crabble Creek, and yes, I've been all those places. The part of my bio didn't say I was a taxi driver in Guyana too, and a driving instructor, so I know many of the villages. I have friends all over, Linden, Wales, Charity, Supanam, the whole way, Virgin Hoop, West Berbice, and I know where Guava Bush is. Anybody know where Guava Bush is? Okay, I'm too close to Guava Bush, that's why. Most were planted by our grandparents, and they had a vision of, and our wise president at that time, or I had a president, Mr. Burnham, wanted us to plant. He had this vision 20, 30 years ago, and they seem to be a gap. And what was the vision? When we plant your own crops, we don't have to import. When we import, that's when your country do bad. We have deficits. When we import more than we export, your country is in the deficit. So you want to be able to import less and export more. That raised the wealth of the entire nation over time. The oil is going to do that, so we're actually not in a struggle to know if we're going to make money or not. Yes, the problem is the oil might be 90% of our revenue. And if the oil price drop, we're all going to go from rich to beggars, quick time, not slowly. And it's quite bad what's happening to our neighbor Trinidad. If you go there, they're living at a very high lifestyle. There's no foreign exchange. They can't get out of their country anymore. So it's very bad. If you look at Venezuela, it's even worse. And that has been going on for a while. Dr. Oz recently on TV, and it's a celebrity doctor on cable TV, says coconut oil is actually a cure for fighting cancer. Coconut oil is a cure for fighting cancer. So if in Canada and America, Walmart has an entire aisle of coconut product. It's in the shampoo, it's in the toothpaste, it's in the cream, it's in everything, and you have to pay more. The problem about climate change is irresponsible emitters of carbon dioxide from the burning of fossil fuels anywhere in the world affects the life of people everywhere in the world. You understand that? If you're burning fossil fuels anywhere in America, in China, in India, in Africa, it will affect us eventually here, or everybody in the whole world. Why? Because we have one hemisphere. We can't get away from that, right?